Hey guys, Jay Massey here. Welcome back to the channel. And in this snippet from one of our Q&A sessions, I go over an article that is going to change the way short-term rentals are done, specifically on Airbnb, and most specifically how pricing is displayed. One of the great things about being in a new industry is that it changes a lot. And one of the frustrating things about being in a new industry is that it changes a lot. And our students have the benefit of all of us together, putting our minds together, masterminding, and figuring out how to make the best version of our business as it goes through all of these changes. Actually, you know what? Before we do the questions, what I do want to do is I want to cover this article that I said I was going to cover. So this is the article that I'm referring to. All right. So this article right here. Oh, you know what? Let me make it a little bit bigger for you because that might make it easier to read. So some of you may have heard, or maybe not yet, I don't know, that Airbnb is changing the way that they charge or display the charges, I should say, when it comes to the guests. So basically, and again, it's not like the money hasn't always been there or the charges haven't always been there. It's just how it's going to be displayed to the guest. Here's what I mean in basic terms. Typically right now, as it's displayed to the guest in most jurisdictions, what happens is you and I, the operators, we display that accommodation fare, the room rate. We have our separate cleaning fee, and then Airbnb itemizes all of their additional fees, and they call them a quote-unquote guest fee, right? And all in, it ultimately adds up to around 12 to 15% is what the guest ends up paying. What they're saying is that instead of itemizing or calling it a guest fee, what they're now saying, or at least the PR behind the move, is to communicate to their customers that what we're doing is we're now going to charge the operators, the hosts, that fee. See, we, Airbnb, we are there for you guests. Now, here's the truth of the matter. Regardless of the platform, it's always been there. So when you go to booking.com, if you ever looked at this, you'll see that the prices on booking.com, the daily rates on booking.com are higher than what they are on Airbnb. Partially because booking.com charges all of those fees to the operator. So the difference is that Airbnb was able to display a lower price consistently because they were being quote unquote more transparent about the fees that were there. So now what was very clearly being seen is now going to be pushed on to the operators. Now, they haven't necessarily said it's happening to all jurisdictions. You may not see it in your back office yet, and that's completely fine. And it's only happening to some people. They're more targeting the professionals, i.e. us, as opposed to the casual individuals, giving us a choice whether we want to display it or not. Here's my point. My biggest point as to why I'm excited for this. Okay, here's why I'm excited for this. Regardless of how that fee is handled, it was always there. And you know, like I know, that you're going to pass it on to the customer anyway. So all of the fees are going to get passed on. What does that mean? The daily rates on Airbnb are going to look like they've all gone up. What in actuality will happen is that those rates, when they go searching on booking.com versus Airbnb, will actually be more in line, if that makes sense. They will be more in line. And because they'll be more in line, they'll be choosing between booking.com versus Airbnb versus, I don't know, Expedia or whatever, wherever they're finding you. They'll be choosing based upon different things. One of those different things obviously will be the quality of the system. How easy is it for them to check out? Which again is a good thing, especially in Airbnb's favor. But that's not why it's a good thing for us. Okay, that's not why it's a good thing for us. I'm telling you, and I'm here to submit for your acceptance. Should you choose to believe what I am about to say, you will earn more money. One of the best things that's about to happen right now is simply the fact that it'll be easier for you and I to then take those individuals and bring them to our platforms directly. And we will probably be able to charge even more than we can right now, because all of the pricing will be higher across the board, which will be great. Because when you're right now, it can be challenging to try to compare, quote unquote, your price on Airbnb versus, say, your direct booking site. Because when the customer sees the price that you're using to be competitive on Airbnb, it is possible, it shouldn't, but it is possible that the published room rate, not the room rate that they see, not the final number, because if they're comparing that published number, it's very possible for that published number to be lower than the published number on your site, depending on how you're doing your pricing. But now, more often than not, your site will be priced lower, and you'll be able to retain more of the actual revenue as opposed to giving more of it to whatever booking platform you like. Okay? So my entire point here is great. Bring it on. I want that. I want more professional tools. The more tools we get, the more standardization we get, the more it is the same for everybody, the more people will be competing on completely different things. And that's what you and I want. We're the professionals. We want more regulation. Why? Because it gets rid of the hobbyists, the people who have maybe one, maybe two units, who have been around for a while, and because they've earned some money, they believe they know what they're doing. Okay? And just because you make money doesn't mean you know what you're doing. You've heard me say this before. Right now, in today's marketplace, you don't have to be good, you have to be present. Over time, as we continue to mature this industry together, you're going to need to be professional, you're going to need to be good, and you're going to need to be the go-to company in your area. And that's who you guys are, and who we will help you come to be as you go through all the phases, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, and eventually for those of you who get into the next step group. If you like more information like this, do us a favor. Hit that like button, because that'll tell YouTube that more entrepreneurs just like you need to see this, and hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell, because then you will be one of the first to know when we publish our next video. Thanks.